Hello again. My name is Chad Whitko, and I'm a specialist in avian biology for the National Audubon Society's Migratory Bird Initiative. In this video, I'll introduce you to several additional Southern Wings online guide resources powered by data from the Bird Migration Explorer. This is the second of 3 how-to videos that we're producing, and we'll be focusing on single species maps and conservation challenges, which provide detailed migration insights for individual focal species in each state. Stay tuned for the final video where we'll explore project partners who contribute to bird conservation across the hemisphere. Let's begin. As in video 1, I want to again introduce the Bird Migration Explorer as one of several key resources utilized in developing the Southern Wings online guide. Launched in the fall of 2022 with support from 9 founding partners, the Bird Migration Explorer is a free, interactive tool offered in English and Spanish that maps the migrations of over 450 bird species and the challenges they face. The Bird Migration Explorer features 3 main map types: bird species, locations, and conservation challenges. It compiles tracking data from nearly 300 organizations, hundreds of researchers, and includes over 6 million location connections from banding records and genetic studies. The Southern Wings Online Guide is a one-stop shop resource for state wildlife agencies to support full annual cycle conservation of birds like species of greatest conservation need. It helps guide state investments in key areas of Latin America and the Caribbean for maximum impact, connecting states with potential partners and providing conservation planning tools. Each state page compiles data from the Migratory Connectivity Project, Bird Migration Explorer, and eBird Status and Trends to support data-driven decisions, strengthen partnerships, and enhance species protection. When you arrive on the Southern Wings homepage, as shown here, go to the top toolbar and click Online Guide, or click on the Browse Online Guide by State button, as highlighted here by the pink boxes. Organized by state, each page of the guide includes an overview, focal species, key partners, and additional resources. In this example for this video, we are again selecting the state of Washington. Landing on the state of choice, we can scroll down to the focal migratory species accounts. It's important to note that this area of the guide is a different section than the focal migratory species table, which is located higher on the page that we're passing by now. Instead, sits further down on the bottom of the state account. Each state has a dedicated focal migratory species account section, as exemplified here for the state of Washington. For the focal migratory species account, users will find a top-level header summarizing the key information available, including overviews of single species connection maps, as shown here, as well as conservation challenges. And further down, as you see here highlighted by pink, users will find a list of select focal species. These are the same species that are marked yes in the focal migratory species table located further up in the state page. This is a reminder of what that section looks like. It's also important to note that these species were identified in collaboration with state agency staff based on the focal migratory species list. For each state, the Southern Wings Online Guide offers detailed species accounts that outline each species' conservation status, the key challenges they face throughout the year due to human activities and environmental changes, and links to relevant Southern Wings projects and additional resources. For select species, species-specific connections maps visualize their hemispheric migrations, highlighting important locations throughout their full annual cycle, such as this example here, shown by long-billed curlew. Conversely, as shown here by Black Swift for the state of Washington, not all focal species have tracking data available from the Bird Migration Explorer's partners for a given species and the selected state. Using Washington and long-billed curlew as an example, the focal species account includes a single species connection map adapted from the Bird Migration Explorer. This map illustrates direct connections between Washington, in this example, and other locations across the hemisphere, based on available tagging data shared by researchers. Dark purple hexagons represent locations directly connected to Washington, while light purple hexagons indicate areas with tagging data for the species but no direct connections to the state. Users can explore species-specific connections further by clicking the included Bird Migration Explorer link for additional insights, as shown here by the pink box. When arriving on the Bird Migration Explorer homepage, users can navigate to the bird species area of the platform. From here, they can either filter or type in the name of their species of choice. Again, in this case, long-billed curlew. Arriving to the species page, users will find 3 available maps for the particular species selected, including species migrations maps shown here, species connections, and conservation challenges, which we'll touch upon later on. While the connections map on southern wings is derived from the Bird Migration Explorer, there is an important distinction between the two resources. The single species map on southern wings highlights direct connections between Washington state and additional locations across the hemisphere. In contrast, the Bird Migration Explorer maps are based on individual hexagons, providing a more detailed, fine-scale view of species connections. The next major area to highlight in the focal migratory species account section is conservation challenges. Here's an example of conservation challenges within the long-billed curlew account. Conservation challenges are human activities and environmental changes that a species is sensitive to during its full annual cycle. Threats are defined as human activities and environmental changes that negatively impact migratory bird species. However, many human activities that present threats to birds can also present a component of the solution. The term conservation challenge conveys both the risk and opportunity associated with each of these activities. The list of conservation challenges provided for each species is derived from the conservation challenges that are included in the Bird Migration Explorer, which are those conservation challenges that are accurately and consistently mapped across the Western Hemisphere. For users that wish to do a deeper dive with conservation challenges, please click Bird Migration Explorer within each species account under Conservation Challenges, highlighted here by the pink box. When arriving at the Conservation Challenge section of the Bird Migration Explorer, users will find 19 available conservation challenges. Birds tell us about the health of our environment, and by mapping where, when, and how extensively species are exposed to human activities and environmental changes, we can better understand the challenges birds face and explore solutions that will maximize benefits for birds and people. When viewing these maps, it's important to recognize that the conservation challenge maps shown here show the footprint of select human activities and environmental changes across the hemisphere. Further, and equally importantly, they do not estimate impacts to birds' populations and are not meant to represent a complete list of major issues facing migratory birds. While in the Conservation Challenge section of the Bird Migration Explorer, users can explore species-specific conservation challenge maps by navigating to the bird species section of the platform. From there, they can select a species, such as long-billed curlew, as we've done earlier previously, either by filtering or typing in the name of the species. Arriving on the species page for long-billed curlew, we will select the Conservation Challenge map in the lower left corner. This can be done for all species on the Explorer. This opens a panel where users can choose a specific conservation challenge to see where the species is exposed to that challenge throughout the year. In this example, we are selecting and viewing livestock management for long-billed curlew, which is one of the conservation challenges listed for the species on the Southern Wings online guide. We hope this video has been helpful. Be sure to check out our other two videos in this series.